Right, so I've got a lot of welding to do today. Lots of welding on these intricate parts. Got my gun oil up, Parker Hale. Gun oil actually smells like mint. There's that bore cleaner. It's working well on some of these bits. And you know, putting that gun oil on, you can wipe it and wipe it, but it don't come off. You can still feel it on there. It's lovely. It's a lovely soft surface, is that on there. I know some people use engine oil, but this stuff will stick to it and lubricate it pretty well. Right, anyway, so I'm replacing some of these parts, all right? I don't think it's going to affect it much, but I could get that in the lathe. I could weld over that, then get it in the lathe and turn it down. I may do later on. This spring's getting replaced, because these are about £5 from Kawasaki. If you look at that there, how it's worn out, that spring, it's going to lose its strength in it. So I don't want that to snap either. Alright, so we're going to get that replaced. £5 part from Kawasaki, you might as well do that. This lifter arm here, you can see where the spring's dug in there. I'm going to weld over that and file it down. Oh, you can just see the grooves which are worn in there on the other side. Also, I'm going to possibly weld over that, if I'm that anal, I don't know. I'm going to weld over those and file it down again, just so it operates this a bit more efficiently. The actual power valve, I don't know what it's called this actually, we'll call it a flapper. Flaps. You can see where that pin has worn out there, look, over time. This should press out. That should press right out, that. But it'd be dodgy doing it. I could turn another one of those on the lathe and press this out and press one in, because it is a press fit. But doing that is quite dodgy, because if I do bend it or anything like that, I can't get it down. Well, I could get it down. I think I could actually cut it off and drill it through or something, I suppose. I'm not so sure if those grooves are supposed to be there or if they're worn in over time. I have not seen an original one or one to compare it to. They look like they're supposed to be there, but not as shiny as this back end. So, hope I'm not making your eyes go funny. Pretty close up in it. So, this is worn out here. It may not really have much of an effect, because once the spring is on there and this has grabbed all of it, I tested it, it still does operate, it still does work. It would go like that after many hours, but I don't know what to do with that really. I just don't like it. I don't like things like that, and I can't really weld that up. Well, I could do. I could try to weld it up and smooth it round. I might give it a go. I'll do it last. Okay, so where am I? Right, I've taken the gears off here because I'm going to be doing some repairs on these gears. This one's all right. This gear dog, I'm going to leave that as it is. There's not much where to complain about on there. The gear output shaft to me looks quite stressful. We've got that broken tooth there, which I'm going to weld back on. I'm just looking at these grooves here and slots where the retaining clip goes in. I'm worried about it flying off. I'm just checking those grooves. You can see, well, I can see some of them aren't square. Sorry, I'm trying to rotate it around. It's catching on my t-shirt. I'm not good at this, am I? Some of them just look a little bit rounded off to me. Well, maybe it's not too bad. So the wear on this may be a problem. There's two things I'm going to do with that. I could, I'm going to weld this one up. I hope I'm not boring you, by the way. I'll be quick what I'm doing. I'm going to weld that up and file it down. I could weld it all up, get it in the lathe and just turn this down here, turn that taper on the end, and then cut the slot in there, put all that back in. Or I could get myself another one. Yeah, there's plenty of them second hand. I'm going to replace this bearing regardless as well. That's going to get replaced on there. Right, we'll go into the other room, sorry. This one here, the input shaft, it's scored, but it's okay, is that. There's a couple of little burrs on the end, I'm going to get rid of those. Did have problems with it getting into gear actually on time. We'll go on to the frame in a minute. I mean, look at that now. It's got my dirty handprints all over, but it looks like a really used second-hand bike, doesn't it? I don't think it was that pretty thing sitting in the garage the other week, hey? But we'll get it all cleaned up. It's got a lot of my dirty handprints on there. Look, nice and tight, look. So, yeah, when these are rounded off, basically what's happening when you change gear, so we're going from third to fourth, as soon as you accelerate, it'll just slip out. This is quite, I can feel that now, that is locked in solid there. But when these are rounded off, and you take the gearbox, you strip a gearbox apart, and you've got really badly worn gear dogs, you try to mesh them together like this, they won't at all. This will just slip out. Slight bit of pressure, it'll just slip out. Boom, just like that. And that's what's happening when your bike slips out of gear. So they are repairable. Like I said, these one here, I'm going to keep these and try and get them welded up. But it's such an intricate job cutting that back out there, and I can't do it with a file. Bit more welding on it because it looks a little rounded. There's the nipple, round nipple there, so we'll cut it down and pour a bit more weld to make it square, I think. We have our missing tooth replaced, and that slot's on there. Just look at that. So I might face this off in the lathe. I'm going to cut that groove a little bit deeper and square in there. It's worn off a little bit just for the circlip to sit in. What I could do also, which would make it a lot safer, is to drill that deeper and put a thread on it, and then get maybe turn a little plate to go over there with a screw thread on it, or put like a washer on there with the plate in it and a bolt. I think the RM's like that, or the KTM's like that, so it just keeps that on there. Cause I don't like circlips, and you know, I want it to be tight, and so it's not. There's a lot of play in that, to be fair. Sorry, there will be play this way, but it seems to be a little bit slack. So I think the shaft's actually slightly worn, but we'll see. Once it's on the bike, it should be all right. I just like things to be, you know, a bit more tolerances than that. It all does feel better when you're riding it. It's got a little bit of float play in there. I don't know. I might be stupid and banal. Anyway, right. So it looks like it locks in there pretty good now. That snap ring. It could do with this slot cutting deeper, I would say. So the snap ring locks in a little bit tighter than that. It's pretty shallow. That's just factory standard, but you know. So it looks a lot better as that now. It's got all its teeth on. But what I'm concerned about, if I grip the gears, you see the amount of play in there. Forward and backwards play before it actually engages. So I'm going to look for a replacement shaft, I think. Alright, excuse the mess. So we're here. I'm just prepping this for a little bit of welding. I'm going to clean this casings up now. I've just sanded down that little dimple in there. I want to tidy up all these little spots. I know that it's not really essential, you're not going to see it, but I'm quite anal, man. I like to get things as new as possible. There's no time restraint on this bike. It's not getting ready for a race. It's no longer a race bike. It is a little work of art for myself. So I want to get all these little things trimmed up. This guide here, this hose guide, it's broke off, but it's not really that essential. It really isn't. I can put another hose guide on here if I wanted to run the hose down there. On this model, the hose is mostly run down this side past the between the clutch and the sprocket. Excuse me, because my throat's not that good today. That's my voice is deep. So I'm going to weld that back on, but it's not really essential. Nevertheless, I want to do it. I was thinking of grinding it off, just flattening it all out, smoothing it. But I'm just going to give it a go anyway because I can. If it looks a mess, then I'll just grind it off. Okay, and then I'm going to tidy up the left-hand side, other side of this casing as much as possible. It's in a vise. It's not tight. It's just placed in there, so I've not crushed it and damaged any of these areas. Don't worry about that. It's just placed in here a little bit firm and secure. Okay, so let's get it welded, shall we? Okay, so excuse me if I'm sniffling up because I've got a little bit of a cold. I've got baby James. I welded that little nipple. You can see the little nipple's back on there, although I wonder if it should be a little bit further up this way. I could put some weld here and redo it, but I'm not. I like the nipple to be there. Tiny, that little nipple, isn't it? Right, so I've cleaned up all these dints and things in here. I've gone round this with the sander on the drill bit and got all those wear marks out. I'm just giving it a little bit of a clean up where I can. I'm going to have to get this back in the parts washer, obviously, to get any of that sanding dust out, or fragments out, and give it a clean up again. I'll get them both in there actually. I'm a bit disappointed about all this pitting in here. It's something I could get that out by using fillers and sanding it if I want to, but it's just such a long job. You're not going to see it anyway because the ignition cover is going to go over there. It's not going to affect any performance or nothing like that. There's a thread repair there. So it is what it is. I was thinking of just getting another engine casing because I just don't like that. I know it's there. That looks to me like it's been some point in its life probably acid dipped to clean the casing up, and it's obviously cast aluminium or something, so it's just all the impurities that come out of that. It's just dissolved parts of it. I've seen that happen with cylinders, barrels, when they've been dipped in the acid to clean them up, and they end up coming out pitted. But for me to change this casing here, I don't know who will have one for me. To change this casing, I'll probably have to change that casing so they're even. But I'm not prepared to do that. How far do I want to go with expense on this thing? Right. So it's okay. We get covered up, we're fine. It's not going to affect it. Right. So that's done. I think that's all the intricate welding finished now. In the next video, I'm going to be doing work on the transmission. I've got some transmission parts replaced. I've ordered some input shafts, input shaft. So parts that I want, and we're going to measure all those components up for the transmission, make sure everything's in spec. Lots of people just throw new bearings in gearboxes that don't actually measure the transmission shafts, and you can get a lot of play in your gears and stuff like that. So we're going to be doing that in the next one. It's not uncommon either. So I've got modifications to do on the frame. I've already started doing the modification on the frame. I'm making some engine casing guards for the left hand side out of aluminium just to match the right hand side. I'm going to be fitting a steering damper as well. Maybe fit the steering damper to my original, my 1999 Beastie, or I may be fitting it to Bonnie Blue over there when she's back together. Okay, we'll see, because I'm going to have to do some modifications on the clamps as well, and you know, these are beautifully machined clamps by Doc Wob, and I don't want to be butchering them with holes or welding or anything like that. So I may fit it to my other one. I've got big plans for this one, big plans for it though. So this one will be rebuilt after Bonnie Blue, and I'm gonna go big bore kit with that. Maybe it's 290. I've been talking to a guy who can do the big bore kit with the pistons. Can even get up to 300cc. But I might get this up to 270, 290, something like that. You know, we'll see. So I'm going to be doing that, and it will be rebuilt and modified, wheels, forks, the lot, you name it. And I'm going to be, hopefully, I will be riding one of these at Farleigh Castle 2026. I ain't doing Foxhills. I ain't got the guts for that. I'd like to do it. I'd ride the track, but racing that, shit. So anyway, I'm going to be doing Farleigh Castle because I love that track. Next year, that's what I've got to get these ready for. So right, yeah, I'm going to end it now and go get our takeaway. We've got a takeaway ordered. I'm starving, and I no doubt my wife's going to be calling me in a minute to get myself back to the house. Okay, so thank you for watching. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.